So I want to talk about pressure and release because in all of my videos, I'm going to talk about this. And it is the foundation of communicating with your dog. So it's very important that you understand pressure and release. And what that means is that there are different forms of pressure that we can use. We can use leash pressure. We can use spatial pressure. We can use psychological pressure. We can use electronic pressure. So it really just depends on the moment and what you're doing with your dog, but you're always going to be applying pressure and releasing it when the dog complies or succumbs to your pressure. And what does that mean? So let me show you what leash pressure means. Leash pressure is pretend that my hand is your dog's head. We're going to put the leash over your dog's head, and I'm going to ask your dog to come or follow me on the leash, and I'm going to say, Kaya, come. And so if she doesn't come to me right then, I'm going to apply pressure on the leash. You can see I'm applying enough pressure to that Kaya can feel this. However, I'm not physically dragging her, or I'm not moving her or anything like that. So what we want to teach our dogs is when they succumb to leash pressure, it goes away. And so by teaching them this, when they succumb to pressure, the pressure is released and goes away. It teaches them and reinforces that when they pull on the leash, they're not going to get what they want. If they do feel leash pressure, they're going to kind of look back and check in with you, because we teach them that this is you asking them to do something. So spatial pressure can be if you are physically moving your dog with your body. So, or not physically moving them, but moving your dog. Cut that last part out. Spatial pressure is when you are setting a boundary with your dog and you're going to use your body to set that boundary. So, for example, if your dog is on the place cot and they go to step off the place cot and you square off with them and you step into them, you're applying spatial pressure. So when you step into your dog with a confidence and you square off with them, your dog is going to take a step back and go back onto the cot. When they get onto the cot, you take a step back and release that pressure. So that's an example of spatial pressure. Psychological pressure is making eye contact. So a lot of times you have to build up to these different types of pressure. Each dog is going to be different for what types of pressure works and what doesn't. Some dogs are very sensitive to leash pressure. Some dogs are very sensitive to eye contact. Some dogs are very sensitive to spatial pressure. The key here is that you can make your dog sensitive to all those pressures so they respond to all of them. But psychological pressure is if the dog is on the place cot and they go to get off and you just look at them and give them very stern eye contact and they back up and they go back on the place cot. So that's another form of pressure. Electronic pressure would be translating or introducing an e-collar or some way to communicate with your dog off leash. So what that means is that we teach them what leash pressure means. We overlay the electronic pressure, and the dog understands when they feel that sensation, that pressure from the e-collar. It is that pulse pressure from the e-collar, that is us communicating with them. And when they succumb to that pressure, it goes away. So this is how you communicate in all forms with your dog. In all my videos, you're going to see this. And I just wanted to give a very thorough explanation so that you can always reference what is pressure and release and how does it work. And this is a recap of it, but you'll see how I do pressure and release in all of my videos. And this is just a good intro to what it means. And it's really an important concept. The most important thing here is that you remember to turn the pressure off. So once your dog is following you or walking next to you, release the pressure, relax your arms, take a deep breath. If the dog is on the place cot, step away from the place cot. And if they go to get off, step in. As soon as they get back on the cot, you have to remember to step back. So you have to remember to release the pressure. Same with eye contact. If you give your dog eye contact and communicate with them to go back to what they were, wherever they were, once they do, look away. Then the other form is electronic pressure. So if you're putting pressure on from the e-collar, remember to release that pressure as well. So key things here is everything is pressure and release. We don't want to be manhandling our dogs with the leash and dragging them around. We want them to succumb to the leash pressure and move on their own so that they learn when they move towards the pressure, it goes away. So this is how we can guide our dogs through any situation. Key things are apply pressure when we're giving direction, release it when the dog succumbs to the pressure. I hope this helps.